A major breakthrough in investigations into the Kadooment Day shootings. Our top story in the Barbados Today afternoon news for Wednesday, August 30th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. 3 men, including a teenager, are due in court today in connection with the Kadooment Day shooting on Spring Garden Highway. Police in the Major Crimes Unit have arrested and charged Tristan Sunil Aline, age 22, of Morris Gap, Westbury Road, 17-year-old Elijah Akeem Copland of Chase Gap, Hinesbury Road, and Raheem Akeem Grimes, age 21, of Chatterton Road, St. Michael, in connection with the offences. They each face 23 counts of endangering life and 1 count of violent disorder. 20-year-old Tareed Jr. Rock of 3rd Avenue, Chapman Lane, was fatally shot in the attack. Meanwhile, lawmen are appealing for the public's help in their probe into last night's double murder in Marley Vale, St. Philip. 23-year-old Ronaldo Gittins and 21-year-old Kyle Burgess, both of East Point, St. Philip, were shot dead shortly before 8 o'clock. Police say a group of people were liming in the area when there were a number of loud explosions. The crowd dispersed and the deceased were later discovered lying motionless on the ground. Police are asking anyone with information related to the incident to contact the District C police station at 416-8200 or 416-8201 or the nearest police station. You can also call police emergency number 211 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS. That's 1-800-8477. And one specialist in correctional reform wants what she calls more sensible sentencing of young offenders. Yolande Ford is arguing that incarceration creates generations of hardened criminals and prison should be reserved for the most dangerous and violent offenders. She also suggests that some offenders should not be brought before the courts, but instead be referred to diversionary programs.
If the person reaching the court is a juvenile, we do need a battery of well-designed diversionary programs. Criminological research has shown that juveniles who have an early involvement, or let's say children, so it's a less labeling term, children, youth, who have an early involvement in the criminal justice system or the juvenile justice system tend to stay in the system. There are definite merits to having some programs that, one, if possible, divert children from going to court and being treated like adult prisoners. And there's even more merit in having diversionary programs that certainly keep them from detention.
And as police grapple with the worrying increase in gun crimes, members of the drug squad are also being kept busy this week. In the latest drug bust, members of the drug squad and other law enforcement agencies seized 48 kilos of cocaine. The drugs are estimated to have a street value of over $2 million. And we will have more details on this bust as they become available. In more police news, the lawmen are asking for the public's help in locating missing teenager Sontia and Shani Richards of Reservoir Road, Lodge Hill. The 18-year-old was last seen by her grandmother, Esteline Ford, at about 9 o'clock on Monday morning. Richards is about 5 feet 4 inches tall, light brown complexion, with thick eyebrows and black eyes and thin lips. She is knock-kneed and speaks with a Barbadian accent. She also has a tattoo on her lower back. Police are asking anyone with information relating to the whereabouts of Sontia Richards to call emergency number 211 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. You can also call the District A police station at 430-7246 or 430-7242 or the nearest police station.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
We are the tridents, we run it down. Everybody know we the baddest around. Anything test, we will throw that down. Come in, Peter, and tell me how me sound. Yes, lyric, you're talking the truth. When we walk out there, they have to salute. Boy, when we put on the trident suit, we put everybody from you. Let's go, tridents. Barbados tridents. Let's go, tridents. Barbados
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. In Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, has been speaking on this week's protest swim attempted by the minority leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke. Duke began swimming to Trinidad on Monday to highlight problems on the air and sea bridge. He was forced to revert to a small boat for most of the journey due to strong currents and rough seas. But Prime Minister Keith Rowley told TV6 News that Duke's protest endorses the government's plans for a link between East Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Duke did a very good job for us as a country to point out that Tobago is not that far from Trinidad. And he's made a good case for the Toco port and the road to Toco. And if there's a ferry service from Tobago, one would not have to struggle, to drown, to get a pirogue, or to get a jet ski. All we need is to have that project of development completed.
Dr. Rowley says this would ensure ferry service operating on a 45-minute time frame, over 20 miles of water between both islands, as opposed to a 4-hour-long journey. With respect to Duke's calls for the THA to have the final say on any vessel that is chosen to service the sea bridge, Dr. Rowley says he, as Prime Minister, has already agreed to have Tobago heavily involved in the process for the acquisition of a temporary passenger vessel, as well as the expansion of the port board to give Tobagonians a larger say in decision-making.
And finally, Tropical Storm Harvey has made landfall again in the U.S. state of Louisiana. Harvey has dumped record rainfall in the region, and flash flood warnings have been issued for the state's south. In Texas, large parts of Houston remain underwater, and more than 20 people are reported dead. Thousands have been forced to flee their homes, but forecasters say the weather is now improving, and they are predicting sunshine in the coming days. We get more in this Reuters report.
A devastating and record-setting rainstorm making landfall again on Wednesday. The slow-moving and deadly Tropical Storm Harvey now threatening to drench a stretch of coast between Texas and Louisiana. Harvey brought chest-deep floodwaters that forced thousands to seek shelter for a fifth night.
Since yesterday we've been having water that's been rising, but well, we've had kids, no power. We tried to make it there, but water's levels are getting up high.
Houston's convention center overflowing with over 9,000 people in need. The city opening up new shelters at the NRG Center and the Toyota Center, home of the Houston Rockets, to cope with the strain.
Some of the other shelters are now at capacity, so we are opening up they're opening up the NRG to accommodate more people. So we're here right now setting up cots for those people that were not able to get into some of the other shelters that were open.
U.S. Coast Guard units have rescued more than 4,000 people, with thousands more picked up by police, rescue workers, and citizen volunteers in boats, rafts, and jet skis. At least 17 people have been killed since the storm slammed into the Gulf Coast on Friday as a Category 4 hurricane.
That's the news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good afternoon.